So to begin talking about your grid, your point of attraction, your discs, your high-flying disc, we know that sometimes it's not so easy because of past momentum. You got some things you've been thinking about, and some of the things that you really believe put you on a lower flying disc. It's hard to watch television and stay up there because much of television, much of the media has discovered that there are more of you on those lower discs. And since they're looking for ratings, they hang out where most of you are. So if you're tuning in, then if you weren't there when you tuned in, you will be pretty soon, because there's something to show you, to worry about, to push against, to feel indignation about, to feel anger about. So when you decide that you want to be on your high-flying disc, it begins to cause you to look at things a little differently. And we really want you to leave this gathering today with a sort of renewed determination that you care about what disc you're on, and a new understanding that you have control about what disc you're on. And then a sort of readiness to begin practicing some very easy techniques to get you there and to keep you there. Because life is supposed to feel good to you. You're supposed to be rendezvousing in powerful, co-creative moments, you see. There is no way that we have seen that will restore you to your true sense of value and worth more than this understanding and accomplishing of this high-flying disc. Because when you stand in that vibrational frequency with source energy at your back, assisting you every step along the way, again and again all day long, you'll stand with a smile on your face, knowing the perfection of where you stand. You will realize that this is really who you are. This is who you are meant to be. And anything less than this is just not enough for you. And you can do it. It's not a difficult thing. So if you've been following us for a while, you've been reading books. We've written lots of them. Stuffed them full of processes, lots of them. And today we're going to offer to you a process that we want you to know trumps all of them. Doesn't render them ineffective. It's just the process of all processes, because it's the process that will accomplish the most for you. It will get the most done for you. It will put you in the strongest place of positive attraction, and it's the easiest thing to do. Sort of like a magic pill, it seems. But it will take your deliberate attention and your readiness to find resonance with who you are. Have we convinced you so far that you create your own reality? Have we convinced you so far that you live in a vibrational universe? Have we convinced you so far that your vibration matters? And have we convinced you that the better you feel, the higher flying you are, that the better your point of attraction is in terms of the more you will like what begins to manifest? So here's the process. When you wake up in the morning, that's your best opportunity to stay on the high-flying disc, because you were on it when you woke up. Just like you were on the high-flying disc when you were born, before you were oriented toward trouble. You're on that high-flying disc when you wake up, and here's the reason. We're just going to give it to you in a very bold statement. While you slumber, your momentum of thought ceases. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't wake up in the morning and pick up right where you left off. But if you don't do that, you have a better opportunity to find that high frequency. So we encouraged Esther to do it. It's been a few months now. We encouraged her, when you wake up, find a thought that feels good. And at first, just the pressure of finding a thought that felt good kept her from finding one. The first day, she didn't even make it until breakfast before she was soaring down some trajectory that she didn't mean to soar down. But we convinced her, and she was committed, that every day she would wake up and reach for the best feeling thought that she could. And she discovered that the more general the thoughts were, the easier they were to feel good. In other words, if you wake up and start pondering a problem, you're off your high-flying disc before you even realize that you're on it. But if you wake up and stay as general as you can, finding something that's very easy to appreciate, you sort of kind of have to ask your family or set your alarm a little early so that you have a little bit of private time before the world descends on you. Because the world is going to descend on you pretty much like it has been descending on you, and there is a momentum or a trajectory that's already been going. So we understand why it's a little difficult to begin changing your vibration in the middle of a stream, because there's a current already going. We really understand that. But we want you to know that first thing in the morning is your best opportunity to do it. Or after a nap, or after meditation. When you meditate, you stop your mind, you stop your thoughts, and when thoughts are stopped, then there's no resistance. And in that absence of resistance, we've been telling you for a while, it's like the cork bobbing on the surface of the water. You can hold it under the water. That's what negative emotion is. But when you let go of it, it's going to bob right back up there. And you are too. When you wake up, you're bobbing for a minute. You are. So if you can just wake up and hold that frequency by finding things as general as you can, it is our promise to you that momentum will begin to help you. You'll begin to feel the momentum until one thought will lead to another and another and another. Now, when you first begin this conversation is not all that satisfying, because we're encouraging you to a concept, to a time of day, to a deliberate focus, and to a result that we promise you you will get. But the result will not be manifestational evidence for you for a while. So you're going to be applying this for the singular manifestational evidence of some good feeling emotion. In other words, you're going to be looking for the manifestation of relief. You're going to be looking for the manifestation of joy. Esther knew that she was there when one day she was doing something that was sort of awkward, and she ended up having to move a piece of furniture out and reach down for something that had fallen behind it, and she was laughing instead of swearing. She knew there was no frustration within her. She wasn't upset that it had fallen behind. She wasn't even upset at the person who had caused it to fall behind, the housekeeper. And she was enjoying the flexibility of her body and the ingenuity of fishing this impossible thing out from behind this very heavy piece of furniture. And she was laughing, and she thought, that's evidence that I am remaining on my high-flying disc. So what we want you to understand is that at first you won't know for sure, but if you will continue and continue and continue, eventually, we're talking about a few days, there will be enough momentum that there will be changes in the way the world is treating you. People who have been one personality will be different when they're with you, or they won't be with you at all. People that you're not used to rendezvousing with will begin rendezvousing with you. Everything in your life experience will change when your point of attraction changes. So that once you get 30 days of this under your belt, you will know for sure that's when we would love to have a conversation with you. That's when we really want to hear, not the subtle, but the vast differences in the way the world is treating you, the way the world is responding to you, the way your point of attraction has shifted. So we're going to give you a little precursor here, and then we're going to open to any conversation that you want. The first thing that happens once you begin to sustain this alignment on this high-flying disc, the first thing that happens is emotions manifest that feel good. That's really the first thing that you're going to be aware of. And we so like calling those emotions manifestations because they so are. The next thing that you're going to notice is thoughts will begin occurring to you. Ideas will begin flowing into your mind. You'll feel clarity instead of confusion. You'll feel sureness instead of sort of awkwardness. You'll begin to notice that you just feel better in the moment. The world will look better to you. And the reason for that, we're just going to tell you. You're going to have to practice it to know it, to feel it, to really know it. But we'll give you the words about it. The reason that you feel clear, the reason things look better, is because you've achieved vibrational alignment with the source within you, and you're seeing the world through the eyes of source. You are now a blended being having this experience. You see what we're getting at? So people who are usually complaining won't show up so much in your life experience. And when they do, you won't feel inclined to help them beat the drum of what's going wrong. You're going to find and like your alignment. Esther said, I'm becoming a sort of vibrational snob. And she doesn't mean that she doesn't adore everyone. She just means that she likes so much feeling good that she really prefers to hold herself in a place that feels good. Now, at first, when she slipped off this high-flying disc, the next thing she was angry at herself because she felt like she had jeopardized her alignment. And she said to us one day, Abraham, I refuse to accept that I have to wait all the way until tomorrow morning to get on my high-flying disc. You've given us enough processes that surely there's something that I can do. But she also discovered that it's really easier to wake up there and stay there than it is to climb back up there after you've fallen off. So we just want you to be easy on yourself. If you're having a bad day and someone says, "What's wrong with you?" just say, "I fell off the disc," okay? Okay? I fell off. And then don't continue the momentum, "and you were there when it happened. I blame you. I was there till you came." Because that's not how it ever works, is it? So we're eager to talk with you about whatever is important to you. And we want you to know that like your inner being, we stand in your vortex where all that you are is. We stand there knowing the vibrational frequency of all that you have expanded to. Do you get how everything that you've been asking for has caused an expanded version of you, and that the only reason you ever feel bad is because you're in this moment not up to speed with the expanded version of you? And that everything that we've been talking about so far means that you can get up to speed with the expanded version of you, and that you're really going to like it when you do it? So we want you to realize that we know who you really are, what you really want, and we know where you are in relationship to it. And we know, and we're speaking on behalf of your inner being, we know what the path of least resistance is to get you there. We just want to help you practice the path of least resistance to who you really are, not the path of least resistance to what you don't want. And can you hear what we're saying? When you think a thought, and you think that thought, and you think that thought, and you think that thought until you're talking to other people about it, you get pretty strong momentum going. We like the analogy of you're at the top of a hill in San Francisco and you've got your car perched right there on the hill, and the parking brake is off and it's out of gear, and you decide just for fun you'll see what happens if you just push the car a little. How strong am I actually? So you push the car a little bit and you begin to see it moving, and then you come to your senses because you can see that momentum is going to take it right down into the bay, and you don't really want that. And so before it gets started, you stand right out in front of it and you let it bump up against you, and all is well. But you wouldn't want to be standing at the bottom of that hill waiting for that momentum to meet you, would you? And so we want you to be aware of momentum. So let's say that you've been thinking about something that you don't want, and you've been thinking about it, you've been thinking about it, you've been thinking about it, and now it's kind of tearing you up, it's sort of eating you up, you can't stop thinking about it, you're really annoyed. Now you're talking to other people about it, and now you're looking online to see if there's any other people that are thinking about it, now you're blogging about it, and now you have a website about what to do about that, and so you get this strong momentum going. Well, when you've got a strong momentum going, that's a path of least resistance. Law of attraction is bringing to you, by path of least resistance, what matches what your vibrational frequency is. Now, we want you to know that the true path of least resistance is this trajectory of well-being. It is overriding and underpinning everything you see. But if you've practiced yourself into a focus moment where you're having this sort of vibrational fit, where you're disallowing your awareness and your resonance with that trajectory, life can feel pretty hard to you. And so that's really what we want to help you to overcome in these hours that we're together. I want to show you how to mold your thoughts into vibrational alignment and resonance with who you really are. We've been watching Esther. She'll be doing a focus wheel or just writing statements of intent. And again, she will say, "I can say that better. I can say that better." Even when someone else would read it, it would look pretty good. But Esther can feel that there's a little hidden agenda in it, or there's a little trying to overcompensate for something, a little too much efforting in it. And that's a true way for you to realize that there's a little discord in your vibration. When you're trying too hard with your action, even if you're trying with action to think. Does that sort of make sense? If you're struggling, there's resistance. So it's about ease and flow. You'll see as we play along today.